Morning. Thank you for being here. Our MLS, overall, our MLS membership is about 5,400, and that's where we have other realtor participants that maybe belong to other local associations in Contra Costa, Oakland, Berkeley, over in San Francisco, up in the North Bay, and so on. But they also use our services and use our MLS to promote listings as needed. We have currently 20 board members that serve at Bay East. These are all volunteers. And does everyone know our District 3? District 3 is the Tri-Valley, Pleasanton, Livermore, Dublin, and Sunol. Does everyone know our directors? We have a few here this morning. Rhonda Fee. Rhonda is one of our
Hey, Rhonda.
Let's give her a round of applause. Leticia Ortega, I don't think Leticia's here this morning. Karen Croson. Karen is one of our District 3 directors. We also have Sandy Gomes. Sandy is one of our directors as well. And our affiliate director is Randy DeHollander. And then, of course, last week, if you were here for the candidate forum, you saw our candidates. And of course, from District 3, we also have Will Dorlick, who is our treasurer, and Kim Ott, who is our president-elect. And of course, they're running in the upcoming elections as well for office. So that gives you a little bit of an idea. We also have two other districts. One that is covering the Castro Valley, Hayward, San Lorenzo, San Leandro area. That's our District 2. And the District 1 is over in Tri-Cities in the Fremont, Union City area there. And we have representatives from our real estate membership as well. So once again, it's all volunteer as far as the members and the board members' time. We have over 13 committees at Bay East, and we have over 200 volunteers, realtor and affiliate members, which are really the lifeblood of our organization. They do a wonderful job, and if you are looking to participate in the future, what a great way to get involved is by participating at a committee level, or even volunteering for some of our special events like we did for the foundation with Georgie Porgy, and we've done Oakland A's games and so on like that. So we really try to get the networking part of that as well as the work that we accomplish as well. At Bay East, we have a mission, and our mission is to really help our members succeed as real estate professionals. Everything we do at Bay East is focused around our core values. And our core values, I think if you've been to a few of my presentations, I talk about that quite a bit. But the core values that we focus on is an acronym called CIVIL. And CIVIL stands for collaboration, innovation, vision, integrity, and leadership. And as a board and as an organization, when we make a decision on behalf of the members, all of you, when we look at things that are coming up, new product lines, services that we may want to provide, we take those core values into consideration. And if we don't meet at least one of those criteria, or possibly all of those criteria, we don't move forward with that decision. So it gives you a little bit of a background of how we keep our organization moving. Bay East has been well represented, not only at the local area, but also with Don Quad, of course, and Kevin Brown, one of our other past presidents for Bay East. Don not only serves as now our past state president, but also serves at a very high level at the NER level as well. And Don serves on several committees. So I think let's give Don a nice round of applause. And we have several other members. Jennifer Rancini, last year's president, our past president, Bay East, serves at NAR. We have Otto Katrina and Craig Bragg over from the Castro Valley area. That's a Bay East member, they serve. Our NAR directors are Doreen Roberts, one of our past presidents, and Dorothy Jackson out of Fremont as well. So they both serve at the NAR level representing us. So we really have a nice mix of representation throughout our membership, and we really want to have a cross.
Oh my God.
Oh.
$5.
So let's That's okay, Ellen. We didn't see that. Okay, so let's talk about the market. Who thinks the market's hot right now? Raise your hand. Who thinks it's medium? Who thinks it's cooling off?
How about dead?
Dead, okay. Well, if you're up in Alaska, Vicki, it may be a little bit boring up there, right? Well, right now, the market is doing okay. I mean, today, as of the end of this month, in our area in the District 3, Tri-Valley, Dublin had 37 units that were currently for sale. That actually has changed just a little bit, but there were 55 units sold already this month. The median home price, or the days on market in Dublin, was 12 days this past month. Median home price is $905,000. A year ago, at the end of July, the median home price was $865,000. So you can see it's ticking up a little bit as far as pricing. The buyers are being a little bit more selective on what they want to purchase based on the increase in pricing. In Pleasanton, we had 108 units for sale. 98 units were sold last month. Days on market in Pleasanton was a little bit longer, it was 27. But I think we're seeing that a little change a little bit now as well. But that's overall. It's not, some homes are selling as quickly as a week. So it just depends on the location and the price. The median home price this month is $1,075,000 in Pleasanton. Last year, the median home price was $995,000. So a little bit of a change. I don't know, are you seeing changes like that now? What are days on market? What are people seeing as far as activity goes? Hours on market? Okay. So, but things change month to month, and so it really, we'll see at the end of this, when our report comes out, Bay East has a housing statistic report. If you haven't used that or haven't seen it, please go on to bayeast.org and look at the website. It's under a tab called Resources, and then underneath that tab is called Housing Statistics. And our Public Relations Officer, David Stark, publishes that, not only for Alameda County, but he also is now doing Contra Costa County. So for our neighboring cities, it has all of the statistics for the last 12 months. It's in a PDF format. You can print it out. It's a phenomenal report to present to your client and share with them how the market is changing. And so if you have an opportunity to go to the Bay East website, look under the resource tab, and then you'll see a tab that says housing statistics, and it's updated every month by David the first week of the month. Great resource if you're looking for information. Yes, Jeannie.
I'd like to hear from the realtors in the room. Is anybody seeing something last 27 days on the market? That seems like it's such a skewed figure.
No, it doesn't last that long.
Yeah, it may not.
What's the average? Yes.
But it's an average. So I would say if we look, that was, Jeannie, that information was at the beginning of the month, and so really through the end of June. So in July, we have, today's the last day of July. I bet you we'll see that number reduced down quite a bit. So let's take a look next week and see where that days on market was for July. I just didn't have that data today when I looked up on the report. Okay, so that was during the last month. So Bay East has a lot of ways to communicate to you as members, and we do 6 different communications monthly, and we don't do all 6 to each member, but we do spread that out. We do have a monthly update called the Insider, or a weekly update called the Insider. It's an electronic email that comes out for Bay East. Do any of you remember that we used to have the newspaper that used to be mailed out to your offices? But because of cost for mailing and postage, we decided, of course, to be updated with the current technology, and we use a weekly update called the Insider. So as a member, every member gets sent that information. We also have the Bay East Government Affairs Report. This is a great report looking at local and state activities, and David Stark sends this out every Friday. So our membership, if you're not getting that, be sure your name is updated on the Bay East member roster, and you will receive that on Fridays, giving you updates on what's going on with local government, and some of the issues that are challenging us is also at the state and at the federal level. We also have on our website the Bay East Buzz. Has anybody seen the Buzz? That's a video every week on Tuesday, I think it's published. The Bay East Buzz is our video update, and it's just kind of a short snippet, probably about 2 minutes, and it gives you an update on what's going on at Bay East. But a great video to watch. We also have our Bay East educational email that goes out every Sunday from Vicki Pereira. Vicki sends out a quick update on all the classes that are going on for the week and also for the month. So if you're not receiving that, another great way to keep yourself informed of what's going on. Also, we have the Bay East broker update, which is an email sent exclusively to our brokers and managers throughout Bay East. So every week we send a quick update if there's anything going on. And then of course, if we have a special announcement, we send out e-blast. So there's 6 different ways. We looked at going back to some of the snail mail where we would mail out notifications, but it was just so, it wasn't cost effective. We just continued to do that. But if you do have someone in your office that doesn't use email or doesn't really know how to do that, contact the board. Ask for Amber Carnahan. Amber is one of our communication people, and she will help get that information to them if they need another resource to do that. So let's talk about Zillow. Does anybody want to talk about Zillow and what's going on with them?
Tim does.
Who does?
Tim.
Tim? Not yet, okay. So let me talk about a new relationship that we just finished with negotiating with the Zillow Trulia Group. Of course, as you know, Trulia was acquired by Zillow. It's now called the Zillow Group. All of the challenges that realtors are having is about syndication and where the information goes and who controls the information. We had several different groups that we were discussing as far as syndication with Bay East Contra Costa Board of Realtors and the East Bay Regional Board of Realtors, which includes Oakland, Berkeley, and Alameda. We all did a joint negotiation with the Zillow Group. And the purpose of that was to control the information that's going out from the RMLS back out to the public. And what we found out, you know, there was a lot of negative press coming back that, you know, Zillow was taking our leads and reselling them to realtors. Realtors were having to pay for advertising and so like that. So we decided as an organization to try and control how that information is dispersed. So in the agreement that was just finalized at the end of June, the agreement essentially says a broker controls their listings, and they always should. The brokers have always had the opportunity to do a live feed directly to any syndication company, but specifically with Zillow, what we've put together is an opt-in program that allows the broker to decide for his brokerage if he wants his listings published on Zillow. As part of that agreement, between Bay East, Contra Costa, and East Bay Regional, we were able to negotiate a better placement for the agent when their listing is published on the Zillow website. It will give a higher ranking, so your photograph and contact number will be at the top of the page instead of at the bottom. We also negotiated that a broker has the right to opt out at the end of a listing. So if they want their data removed, we have a lot of clients that now want the data removed, the photographs and so on from the listing, that they can opt out at the end of the listing and have that data removed. Every negotiation that we learned about prior to us doing our contract, the information that Zillow received, they could re-syndicate it to any of their partner syndication sites for an inevitable time. So there was no time limit where they could keep that information and keep it in their database. What we've negotiated is that we want to have control. If we decide we want to pull all of that information off of their database, they have to take it off, and they cannot republish that without breach of the contract. So essentially, that's what we negotiated It's still a broker decision. It's a realtor decision working through the broker. In this case, the broker has to go ahead and opt in to participate in this program. It isn't automatic. So if you're going to be using Zillow and syndication, I know Don and other large companies, they have their own relationships where they have their own agreements directly with the syndication companies. But this also gives the members that maybe don't have those type of agreements in place an option to negotiate and work with these larger companies. Now, we're also doing that with other syndication companies that we're talking to right now. So we'll continue to pursue that, but really was to protect the proprietary information of our membership and being sure that you always have a choice if you want where you want your data to go. So that's kind of where we're at on the Zillow. It's truly a relationship there. We also, as Kim mentioned last week, if you were here at the candidate forum, we also have put together an agreement with MLS Listings Inc., which covers the South Bay down in Santa Clara County and the surrounding areas of Monterey and so on. And we have an IDX relationship that we set up where when you put a listing into the Paragon system that Bay East uses, Contra Costa Board of Realtor uses, and East Bay Regional, it'll automatically syndicate over to the MLS Listings Inc. We also are working on a single point of entry, which has been an ongoing challenge for us over the last 3 years. And the reason that it's so difficult to do that is that any MLS that we syndicate with, the fields that you put your data in have to match. So if you have one field or two fields that are different, the data will not be the same. So we're working on doing that, and we'll be working with MLS Listings Inc. once again. So instead of having to enter your listings into two separate MLSs, you'll be able to put it into one and it'll syndicate to the other MLSs. We also are hoping that other MLSs in San Francisco and up in the North Bay, which is called Barry's, we're hoping that they'll follow shortly after. So that kind of gives you an idea on some of the contracts that we're working on. We also have our Super Lockbox update coming up in the end of September. And what we're going to be doing is doing a swap out of your current lockboxes to a Bluetooth capable lockbox. It'll allow you to use Bluetooth technology. You still will have to use the fob if you're using a fob right now for other locations, such as if you're going to Metro, or Metrolist actually has it, but other areas that don't use the Bluetooth box, you'll have to still use the fob. But in the future, this new box has a bigger compartment, so you can put key cards in it, other larger devices that, opening some of these condominiums and townhome developments. And the technology and battery life is much better on the new one. So we'll be doing a one-for-one swap coming up in the fourth quarter. There'll be a lot of information coming out on that. We'll do it at a large hotel in Pleasanton probably here to do the swap out, and it'll probably be a 2 to 3 day event. So just to give you an idea that we're trying to keep up with the newer technology. There are also some new keys that will be offered by our lockbox manufacturer, so those will be coming out as well. So those are just some of the things. Let's open it up for questions if we can, because I want to kind of hear any feedback that you have from the market here. Wendy, do you have a mic? Yeah. How about questions? How about questions?
What about Market Leader and Zillow? I heard that Market Leader was trying to take the, like if you have your contacts in there, that they're owned by Zillow, right? That they would have access to your contacts.
Well, you mean with in regards to our contract that we currently have with Zillow?
Yeah, is that part of the deal? Or
No, it's not. So you really have to work with that directly. Okay. More questions?
Anybody have questions?
What about anybody having challenges just with anything in the market? Any concerns that you have that you're seeing in the just with the industry itself? Are agents still returning their phone calls every time you call them? No? Yeah. Will said he'll get back to me on that. Jim, did you have a question?
Yeah, I had more concern about what's happening with MLS violations and things along that line. What are we seeing? As
Well,
far as, you know, the types of violations and the enforcement.
Yeah, well, great question. We actually implemented an ombudsman program about a year and a half ago, actually 2 years ago, I think it is now. And the ombudsman is brokers within our organization that serve on our committees for the MLS violations or grievance or mediation. And what we've done is the number of complaints has not only gone down in numbers, but we've been able to resolve it through an ombudsman. So by having a person that's been trained and educated on how to settle certain disagreements between the brokerages, instead of going and having a hearing, having fines applied, we probably this year I think have had no more than 2 actually violations where we actually had to fine a member. But because of the ombudsman program, we've been able to resolve those issues before it even gets to the mediation or grievance side. So that's been how we've been working with that. I think it just depends on the activity in the market too. A lot of times when we're seeing, you know, more agents, more activity, we get more complaints and more concerns about certain things. Certain things that we can't control, one of the things that we always are challenged with are sign ordinances. And what we try to do is where you see signs put in multiple locations, too many signs, or putting them on the medians or the islands in the middle of a street. And we publish the sign ordinances on our website. We go out and we preach about, you know, following the guidelines that the cities give to us. We're really trying to manage that, but we can't be the police when out there and remove signs, because that's the responsibility of the realtor or the broker whose office that relates to. But those are things that we still get complaints about. The other thing that we still get complaints about is just general professionalism, is people that don't return calls, they aren't courteous, you know, these are agents, of course. That's been an ongoing issue for many, many years. So I think it just comes from continuing to work in a professional environment, working through the broker, being sure if there is a concern, going to the broker and addressing it with them directly. And you know, we're trying to raise the level of the professionalism by offering more education through our membership. Jim, did you have another question?
I actually heard about a week or so ago that Fremont, their city was on a rampage collecting signs, and they picked up over 35 signs from various agents out there that were leaving them overnight so that they didn't have to put their signs back out the next day, and they all got collected.
Yeah, and what's going to happen if we don't adhere to the city guidelines for sign ordinances, they're going to come down on all of the realtors, just like they did in Fremont. I think the complaints have to come from the public. So I think we really need to reinforce that through our local broker offices and just through independence. I mean, there's a lot of, they've had a lot of people that do that, not only in Fremont, but we have it here in the Tri-Valley. You constantly see it in certain areas, you know, that where the agents will leave overnight. And then once the public starts complaining, they will come down on our community there. I know San Ramon has a very strict sign ordinance, because I did an open house not too long ago. I put it on a lawn area that was outside, you know, within the HOA that I was serving on, and because it was partially on a sidewalk, they took the sign, and the compliance manager from the city of San Ramon came to my open house and brought the sign back. And they gave you a form that says, here are the rules there. So you have to be very aware. My advice is just look at the local sign ordinances. We have those on our website before you go out and do an open house, or call the city. And then that way you'll eliminate a little bit of headache when it comes down to that.
So my recommendation on that is put a lot of signs out, and then 15 minutes before your open house is over, call the city and complain about your own signs. So
Yeah, there you go.
Awesome.
So, any other questions?
Yes, what about the signs like on Camino Tasahara? The houses aren't, there's no houses on the corner, but they have signs leading to the street that they're for sale, period, that are on there all the time.
Are they agents, or are they realtors, or are they
No,
the builders?
they're realtors, like the same sign you would have in front of your house. They actually have it on the street where there's no house,
Right.
leading to, showing the traveled street that there
Yeah,
are houses there.
I've seen that. I think the best thing you can do is if it has a phone number on it, just call it and then remind them, hey, you let your sign out, or call the broker, or have your broker call the other broker just as a courtesy. What we're trying to do is help each other. I don't want to, see people saying, oh gee, that person's always leaving their signs up, because it's pretty obvious. You'll see those signs over and over, and I will do that. I'll call the broker and just say, hey, by the way, saw the signs were left out for 36 hours. Do you mind reminding the agent about that? And we try to at least do it from a positive standpoint. We also, David Stark is very involved, of course, with our local city governments. So occasionally Dave will make a call to a broker and ask that, hey, we've had some issues or complaints about signage, could you help us out? So we want to deal with it in a positive manner, but they're just, there's some people that continue to do that, and until like what happened over in Fremont where the signs were all picked up, and some of the cities in the past have charged fees to get your signs back. So they'll probably, if it continues to be out of control, the cities will start collecting them and then charging a fee to get your sign back.
Fremont charges $25 a sign.
Was it $25? Yeah.
All
So,
in jail.
yeah.
Pleasanton's 15.
Okay, well, thank you. Yeah, Don?
Do you have a?
Yeah.
So mine's more of a statement, actually. Well, first off, I want to thank Mike for all the work he's put in this year and leading us to this. And I don't know about you, but is this a disappointing turnout here this morning? And so what I'd like to do is ask, this is valuable information that everybody needs to know. It'd be great if we could go back to our offices and encourage people to come here and show up in the mornings, because this is, you talk about professionalism and ethics problems. You don't have professionalism or ethics problems if you have people here, and where they get to see you, get to know that it's more of a grassroots effort. And so maybe encourage people to participate more, and you would have a lot less problems. So that would be my little 2 cents.
Yes, thank you, Don. Yeah. And for any of the agents and managers in here, I want to extend an invitation to myself, Kim Ott, and Will Dorlick, and our local board representation. We'd like to come out to your offices during the next 5 months. So we, instead of having people having to come to a marketing meeting to hear us speak, we now are scheduling through our Bay East office. Roya Chaudhry is the person on staff who's doing the scheduling. But we would love to come to your offices, talk a little bit more individually with your sales reps, your realtor members, and just get some more feedback on what's working and what's not, because that really helps us determine what types of products and services we want to bring to the organization. So we don't want to do it in a vacuum, even though we have very talented committees that have representation from a majority of our membership. We still want to come out to the offices and reach out to those who maybe can't make it to a marketing meeting or can't make it to one of our Bay East events. So if you do have an opportunity, call me or call Roya, and we'll be happy to schedule some time. So that concludes my presentation. Thank you very much.
Awesome, good information.